Qatar Banking, October 2021. Let's talk about the KPMG report. What are the biggest challenges and learning we have observed during this pandemic over the last 18 months? The pandemic necessitated and accelerated the implementation of technology in work operations and services. Fintech has become a big enabler to the financial sector industry. Central banks experience challenges in upgrading the risk management framework to address the possible risk from the alignment of technology with the financial sector industry. That's again enterprise risk integration, including operational risk. Mitigation of operational risk to ensure business continuity became an issue of paramount importance. Nevertheless, the major global lessons from COVID-19 is that investments in public health infrastructure must be continuously maintained to safeguard economies and protect human capital from this type of health crisis in future. Like we need personal health care on a consistent basis, we also need the system should invest more on healthcare and education. What are the views on the feasibility of QCB issuing a digital currency? Qatar Central Bank, the governor says, in case of Qatar, close to 90% of the broad money in the system is already in digital form of deposit with commercial banks. The share of currency in circulation is expected to reduce further with the introduction of additional national digitization initiatives. So QCB at this point does not anticipate any immediate requirements for a retail digital currency for Qatar. However, QCB monitor the developments in digital currencies by central banks in various other jurisdictions and will make appropriate policy decisions based on emerging information. If the region is going on digital currency, European Central Bank has got that focus. Now, globally, if we need to bring in digital currency by the regulators, it's appropriate every central bank or group of central banks, wherever there is a common currency, we need to come to terms and central bank has to issue a digital currency. What are the key reasons for the restrictions on cryptocurrency, especially in state of Qatar, and is expected to be, is there any change? If you look at cryptocurrencies are in general as speculative assets, and the probability of its use for unwarranted transactions cannot be ruled out. The restrictions are imposed due to inherent risk associated with the cryptocurrencies, since they pose significant challenges to stability and integrity of the financial systems. No sensible regulators are going to accept cryptocurrencies, especially when you have clearly illegal activities, anti-money laundering, and combating financing terrorism is a focus. Illegal activities to be curbed. It means, why should you have a parallel money? Legal tender money is only one, or the substitute can be central bank digital currency. As far as Qatar Central Bank is concerned, it's closely monitoring the technologies and regulatory cryptocurrency developments and will take appropriate decisions in due course. That's what the central bank governor says. Now, Qatar Central Bank has been proactive and supportive to the banking sector in recent months due to COVID-19 challenges. And where do you see in future? The continuation of these support measures depends on evolving circumstances and high level of directives from the state. Now, having said that, we all know from September to December, the incentives, special incentives, which was pronounced on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, has been a major boost for financial stability in terms of debt servicing capacity, supporting the small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, postponement of installments, postponement of interest, and again, concessional interest advantage. All these are now postponed up to December. And that's a welcome move. The business community is really taking advantage of it. Now, if you look at the governor's statement, emergence of digital only banking payments instead of Qatar, or simply more digitization of the existing banks, QCB will follow a more calibrated approach in promoting digital banking among existing banks and new entrants. A calibrated approach is the right way forward in promoting the digital banking among existing banks and entrants. Now, recent successful merger of Masraf Al Rayan and Al Khalij, the governor says, the possibility of additional banks consolidation is fully dependent on each bank's business strategy and strive for efficiency. Absolutely solid. You have all the stakeholders you have to take care. If you are not taking care, and there is a possibility of industry consolidation. That's what he says in clear terms. Now, as far as central bank governor is concerned, the growth in the banking sector in post-pandemic world, he has to say the following. The government and the QCB proactive steps in containing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic with particular focus on support of small and medium-sized entrepreneurship. A distinct part of these measures include injecting capital into systematically important sectors, thereby, to an extent, neutralizing the short-term impact in the financial market. So we don't want volatility, we need stability. The sector has a high capital cushion level with loan delinquency levels are still low. At the same time, liquidity improves as banks were able to obtain funds from both external as well as domestic sources. When it comes to QCB priorities in the short, medium and long term to further strengthen the local banking sector, in the short to medium term, we are focusing on enhancing the liquidity structure of the banking sector with an emphasis on stable financial resources and mitigating foreign currency and market risk. The management and mitigation of credit risk in cooperation with the Qatar Credit Bureau and consolidating Sharia compliant criteria for Islamic banks are also in pipeline. In the long term, taking on board the evolving domestic and global macroeconomic developments, QCB will focus on strengthening the financial sector as envisaged in the Qatar National Vision 2030. When it comes to ESG, environmental social governance will be a priority in the banking sector in the coming period, and it will see QCB playing a role. The second strategic plan for the financial regulation had highlighted need to promote sustainable investment and green finance. That's a second strategic plan for financial regulations. Some of the Qatari banks have already adopted green initiatives in their business practices as they issue green bonds, provide green loans, mortgages and green credit cards. Doha Bank has issued green credit cards. We issued green mortgages, green loans we are giving at a retail level. We also finance for sustainable development projects when it comes to lending. So plenty of actions we have taken and we will continue to take in the coming days. These are small steps, I should say stepping stones towards developing a more focused and sustainable framework. That's what the governor of the central bank has to say. So these are words of his wisdom. When it comes to biggest challenges, the governor says pandemic necessitated implementation of technology, mitigation of operational risk, enterprise risk integration, digital currency. He doesn't see the possibilities in short term. At the same time, he will wait for the regional regulators and rest of the world development and take a unified approach. At the same time, he is not encouraging cryptocurrency. That is prohibited, I should say. As far as the restrictions on cryptocurrencies, this can be misused. That is why he doesn't want to be a part of the system. When it comes to proactive measures, extensions have been given, exemptions have been given. When it comes to industry consolidation, he made it very clear there is a possibility, and it depends on the operational efficiency as well as the overall stakeholders' validation of the existing enterprise in terms of overall sustainable value creation. And these are the messages from the Governor of the Central Bank of Qatar.